The story of Helen Keller, the girl who opened the world of darkness and silence. Helen Adams Keller was born on June 27, 1880, in a small town in Tuscumbia, Alabama, USA. She was a healthy, bright baby, curious about the world and full of laughter. But when she was only 19 months old, a terrible illness struck her. Doctors think it was either scarlet fever or meningitis. She survived the illness, but it left her blind and deaf. Imagine for a moment being a small child and suddenly losing sight and sound. The world that was once full of color and sound turned into total darkness and silence. Helen could not understand what had happened to her. She became frustrated and often threw tantrums, screaming and kicking. Her family loved her deeply, but they didn't know how to help her. They felt trapped, watching their daughter live in a world she couldn't reach. The arrival of a teacher in Sullivan. When Helen was 7 years old, her parents sought help. They contacted the Perkins Institute for the Blind, and from there came a young teacher named Anne Sullivan, only 20 years old, and had been partially blind herself, so she understood darkness. She arrived in March 1887, and from that moment, Helen's life began to change. At first, Helen didn't trust her new teacher. She would hit, kick, and refuse to cooperate. But Anne had patience and determination. She believed that somewhere deep inside Helen was a mind ready to awaken, and began to teach Helen by spelling words into her hand using finger spelling, a form of sign language. She would spell DOLL into Helen's palm while giving her a doll. But Helen didn't understand that the signs meant words. The breakthrough came a few weeks later. The miracle at the water pump. One warm day, Anne took Helen outside to the water pump. She placed Helen's hand under the running water and spelled WATER into her other hand. Suddenly, something clicked in Helen's mind. She understood. She realized that the word in her hand meant the cool liquid flowing over her fingers. Helen later wrote, "That living word awakened my soul, gave it light, hope, joy, set it free. That moment changed everything." From then on, Helen wanted to learn the name of everything: rocks, trees, flowers, her own family members. She was unstoppable. A world reborn. Helen quickly learned to read Braille. She also learned to write and even to speak by feeling the vibrations of people's lips and throat. With and by her side, Helen achieved what many thought impossible. She attended school and later graduated from Radcliffe College in 1904, becoming the first deaf-blind person to earn a college degree. Her achievements didn't stop there. A voice for millions. Helen Keller became a writer, lecturer, and activist. She wrote books, gave speeches, and traveled the world, speaking about education, women's rights, and the rights of people with disabilities. She met famous figures like Mark Twain, Alexander Graham Bell, and Winston Churchill. Even world leaders admired her courage. Helen's story became a symbol of hope, resilience, and the power of education. Through her and Sullivan's lifelong friendship, the world saw the miracle of human connection and perseverance. Legacy. Helen Keller passed away in 1968 at the age of 87. But her spirit still inspires millions. Her story reminds us that even when life takes away our senses, it cannot take away our will to learn, to love, and to live with purpose. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision, Helen Keller.